A very good evening to you all and welcome to the first edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. This Monday, the 14th day of November 2022. On sign language, it is Mogalu Mohammed and I am Rukidi Kiijjanangoma. Police will conduct an operation against Toyota Hiace vehicles that transport passengers. The traffic police spokesperson Farida Nampima says persons netted using vehicles disguising as taxis will be prosecuted. Ivan Kahwa reports.
Uganda police has set a 2-day ultimatum for persons using Toyota Hiace, also known as drone, for transporting people without PSV license and public transport mark. This is part of the ongoing operation to restore sanity on the roads.
So we urge whoever wants to operate his drone as a PSV to go to the Ministry of Works and Transport, have your vehicle registered and licensed so that it starts operating as a PSV. Let's comply with the requirements.
Such vehicles are common along Entebbe and Jinja roads. Police will no longer fine culprits, but instead take them to court.
No EPS ticket will be issued to anyone operating as a PSV, yet you are not licensed to do so.
12,217 motorcycles have been impounded within 6 days of an operation against errant road users.
And out of these, a total number of 10,167 have been issued with EPS tickets. At that station, we have 2,050 pending. The operation continues.
Police says from 30th October to 12th November 2022, 100 deaths and 500 injuries have been recorded due to road accidents.
I've noted with concern that the highest contributor of these crashes is reckless driving. At least for the 2 weeks, it involves even reckless pedestrians. Most people have been hit on the roads because they don't know how to cross the roads. They don't know which side of the road they should be walking. So they've been hit by vehicles. Speeding has been part of the attributors to these crashes. Using handheld mobile, diverting people's attentions off the road.
In the overall, 1,021 riders and 401 passengers have died in road accidents in the period of 9 months, starting January 2022 to September 2022.
In road crashes, those riders died because of the head injuries. Your head is like an egg. If you hit it on that ground, you will not survive. So if you wear protective gear, we shall have you alive.
Police recommends that vehicles meant to transport learners after closure of schools to their homes will first be inspected. Ivan Kahwa and Abdunasir Lubwama, UBC News.
Police have called for public vigilance over terrorism in the forthcoming FIFA World Cup. Security believes people of ill intent may utilize this opportunity to harm Ugandans. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga has released guidelines to those intending to organize events while enjoying the FIFA World Cup.
Guidelines released by security call for vigilance in the coming FIFA World Cup season. Owners of recreation centers and other revelers host centers are supposed to adhere to the set standard operating procedures.
All venues should draw their security management plans in liaison with the area police. If you're in Naguru here, then we expect you to work with the police at Jinja Road and so on to come up with very robust security management plans.
The precedent of bomb attack in 2010, where over 20 Ugandans perished at Rugogo while watching World Cup finals, compelled police to invite public vigilance.
Previous attacks we had in Komamboga, it also shows that soft spots with fewer people are also targeted as a philosophy.
This is also based on the recent terrorist attacks the country has experienced, and security believes people of ill intent may use this as an opportunity to take people's lives.
Like we've always indicated, these attacks are from known enemies of the ADF and the Uganda Coalition for Change rebels, who seek to commit violent criminal acts in furtherance of their political goals and ideologies.
Those with suspicious minds are advised to watch the tournament from home. Apart from terrorism, security has raised an alarm to those hosting revelers to be cognizant of the existence of COVID-19 and Ebola. Meanwhile, police has reported another attack on a police post at Kesington Chanja, a Kampala suburb.
Lucky enough, none of our officers registered any injuries, and we have since established that this was a ride-along shooting. These motorists didn't stop. They just shot at the post and continued riding. We have established the number to be 2.
These continuous attacks on the police stations have forced the police management to close some police posts to minimize the exposure of officers to danger. 2 weeks back, Busika police post in Luweero was attacked by armed men, killed 2 officers and took off with guns. Abdul Nasele Lobwama and Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Students from Ebola-prone districts of Mubende and Kasanda are set to depart on Wednesday in a phased manner. The Director of Basic and Secondary School Education, Ismail Mulindwa, confirmed that the exercise has already kicked off with the first phase of students from locked-down districts leaving. We have more in this story.
It was agreed that learners who are coming within those 2 districts are free to go back home. The day scholars, of course, you don't need to make an arrangement. They just go back where they have been coming to attend school. But now our focus is on the borders. So the borders within that area are free to just move back home. After all, they're in the same area. But learners who are moving outside the 2 districts are the ones who are provided for. And we are saying, if some learners are screened and we find out that they have maybe some kind of symptoms, which I doubt, but if they have symptoms, then those ones are going to be retained. Now, those who are moving outside, first of all, they have to be screened so that they are sent back home when we are sure they don't have any symptoms. So the learners from Mubende, from Kasanda have to be screened before they get onto the bus. But as a ministry and Ministry of Health, we worked with our partners and specifically UNICEF to support us on transportation of these learners. So there are buses already, as I talk now, in Mubende and Kasanda, ready to pick these learners tomorrow, so that they can be delivered at different stations where their parents are going to pick them. We have an arrangement where we are going to transport learners. We have offered transport to learners who are moving from these areas like Kampala. It could even be coming from Masaka or Jinja, from Kampala here, Kololo. In fact, today that's what we have done. Today, and we shall go back to Kololo on 25th, when again another cohort. 25th, that's when the schools are breaking off.
That is the Director of Basic and Secondary Education, Ismail Mulinda, shedding more light on the transportation of learners from the Ebola-hit districts of Mubende and Kasanda. Still with matters pertaining to education and particularly those students, UNEB has summoned the District Inspector of Schools to explain circumstances under which 23 candidates out of 26 failed to sit for the mathematics paper at St. Christian Primary School in Kakumiro District. It is alleged that the students arrived 1 hour and 16 minutes after the commencement of the exam. Jennifer Kalule is UNEB Public Relations Officer.
They arrived 1 hour and 16 minutes after the examination had started. And in that case, they could not be allowed to read their paper. And according to UNEB regulations, any candidate who comes after 15 minutes from the start of the examination must not be allowed to sit the examination. So the scouts used their discretion and did not allow the candidates to read their paper. However, as a board, we have requested the DIS, the district officials, to give us a full account of what transpired so we can be able to assess what exactly transpired and ascertain the circumstances under which the candidates were not able to write their paper. We also plan to meet with the district officials to forge a way forward and also try to consult with the relevant authorities to establish the best way forward. Communication will be made as to what the final judgment will be regarding these candidates.
Jennifer Kalule, UNEB spokesperson, ending that story there. Let's go to Eastern DRC now, where the joint military force of UPDF and FARDC incursion into the Eastern DRC dislodged and scattered the ADF rebels and captured 4 women in the jungles. Colonel James Kasule, the 111 Brigade commander, said the camp used to accommodate more than 400 ADF rebels and their families. Aruna Mtesasira returned from that region and brought us this story.
Uganda People's Defense Forces used fighter jets and artillery to shell ADF bases in Virunga and Ituri Forest in North Kivu Province, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The joint offensive operation managed to put out of action a number of ADF rebels, war materials captured, and 4 women rescued, including a 4-month-old baby. Nicknamed Barak, the 4-month-old baby lost both parents in line of fire. Been given a name Barak and adopted by one of the female UPDF officers. The 4 women we found at Sector 3 Command in Kalembo includes Kabira Mwandu, Kabuo Makundi, Congolese nationals, Ashura Kasim from Burundi, and Afswa Sharon, a Kenyan.
Hawako wengi wenye silaha walikuwa walishatokea.
Ashura Kasim, her husband and 2 children had moved to Uganda after the war broke out in Burundi, not knowing they would end up in the hands of the ADF rebels.
Wakati tulifika Burundi, bwana wangu alikuwa na ndugu yake alikuwa anaishi Mkongo sehemu ya Goma kule.
Ashura Kasim recounts the day the UPDF attacked their camp but managed to survive.
Nimefika hapa wajeshi walienda kupiga walitukamata huko kwenyewe wakatuleta.
I was lured to join the ADF by my husband from Burundi with promises of a better life than in Burundi. She says, you can't escape from the ADF and live under strict laws with no other option.
111 Brigade Commander Colonel Kasule James says pursuit of the ADF rebels is ongoing.
Destroy ADF and other military groups, armed military groups. So far in my sector, Sector 1, the enemy is no more. We have destroyed the enemy, and the enemy has gone to areas of Moenda, and of recent, because of finishing the ADF here in my sector, I've been handed more area of responsibility on the part of Sector 3 and my colleague, Colonel Magam.
Colonel Kasule, who is commanding the ground forces in the jungles of Mkakati Forest, says there is no breathing space for the ADF rebels. Hunger being experienced by the ADF rebels in the forests has forced many of them to surrender to the joint forces of UPDF and FRDC. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
Now, Forum for Democratic Change, FDC party, has expressed the need to conduct an audit on police to find out the number of policemen and their places of deployment. While addressing the media at the FDC party headquarters in Kiijjanangoma, the deputy spokesperson John Kikonyogo said incidences of house break-ins have increased, attributing this to withdrawal of police posts in some areas.
There have emerged attacks on the police by unknown people, the recent one being on Chanja police post. The previous attack in Busika forced Uganda Police Force to withdraw the police post from the community. However, Forum for Democratic Change Party is questioning this act by police. The FDC deputy spokesperson John Kikonyogo says panga-wielding thugs have resumed attacks on people and also breaking into their premises, taking their property without police coming to their rescue.
Burglars had broken into their house. They had even time to cut the doors. They entered. Even the neighbor, they took about 3 hours. They are making alarms. There's no police officer who came to their aid. The whole village had to now to come out to help them. They took some property. Fortunately, they did not kill them. These will have pangas. They're everywhere now. How can the police leave us at the mercy of those burglars? We are paying them to do the work, to keep our security, and we sleep soundly, but they have withdrawn.
Kikonyogo has requested the Ministry of Security and leadership of Uganda Police Force to explain to the public what they should do in situations when police have been withdrawn from them.
At home, I had a police post about 200 meters from my home. Now there's nothing. You don't even see any police personnel moving around at night patrol. This should be a work of Parliament, or a very serious meeting of senior leaders. The Parliament must know. And there must be even a forensic audit. How many police officers do you have where? Where do you put them? But you withdraw them, you leave them virtue.
Meanwhile, Forum for Democratic Change Party has denied commending the work and transparency of Electoral Commission following tweets to that end.
Election Soroti, all our leaders were locked up for 4 days. The East just watched. They even took 2 more days after elections, even our party president. So no sane FDC leader can go to their office and commend them. That impression must be corrected at once.
On education, the party has called on the Ministry of Education and Sports to revisit its policy of turning national teachers' colleges into universities, saying this denies people opportunity to qualify as grade 3 and 5 teachers. I'm Nafka Farida at Kiijjanangoma.
To northern Uganda now, where leaders in Nwoya district have asked government to fulfill the pledge of a fruit factory in the area to enable farmers overcome obstacles that hinder production of quality juice on the market. Now, this was highlighted during the presidential CEO forum visit to Delight Farm in Nwoya district.
The Presidential CEO Forum has had a 3-day working tour of Delight Farm. During the tour, Nwoya district leaders and fruit growers appealed to government to construct them a fruit factory to increase market access.
Our appeal to the government, our appeal to the team from Parliament that came here some few months ago is that can we expedite this process of having this fruit factory being put in place so that our people are not going to continue losing as they've been losing before, because they put a lot of initiative, a lot of efforts to make sure that they produce these fruits. At the end of the day, they have nowhere to sell these fruits. These fruits are getting rotten.
The farm that sits on 1,700 acres has ensured wealth creation through job opportunities and also empowered women through skilling and social inclusion in agricultural value chains, a reason the area Deputy Resident District Commissioner Emmanuel Okwari applauded the proprietor of the farm.
Delight Farm Nwoya is a very good example to us as of a farm that is very focused, very making significant contribution to the development of the economy in Uganda. It employs many people. It is raising a number of products, agricultural products.
You see in their data, most of the beneficiaries are women. And as a district, we have a department that under community development that looks at that. And we are very hopeful that in fact the visit of PCF is going to add on to the weight that we already had before, to see that more women are mobilized, more young girls are mobilized.
After a successful tour of the farm, the Presidential CEO Forum board member Brenda Tebamwenda evaluated the farm's operations and explained the government's role in the business arena.
It's been an eye-opener for what people have been able to learn, the agro processes that are taking place on this farm. A lot of fruit has been grown, and many people undertook this because a fruit factory, was promised to the district. I'll see what exactly happened.
That is DRC and South Sudan, but they can also supply beyond the EAC. The role we have here is actually to come and coordinate these people, train them, and do export readiness assessment to understand the degree to which they are committed.
The Chief Executive Officer, Delight Uganda Limited, Julian Omala Adieri, says that with the help of government through resources, the mega company will be able to export juice and fruits outside East Africa in plenty.
If I had a factory here, I would by now be in a position to raise enough money, and the community would be okay, people would have got enough money, and more people would have planted. So I have a factory in Kawempe, but it cannot consume all. So we have to open up new markets, we have to have partners, we must export the mangoes, we must do the value addition. A lot is needed. That's why I call upon anybody who can come to support us or to journey with us to ensure that we produce the fresh juice, we dry the mangoes, and we export the fruits.
With a large juice processing factory in Kampala and an annual turnover of $4 million and 45% of the local market, Delight has diversified into a range of the business activities like poultry, flour mill, as well as coordinating women's farmer cooperatives, which does position it as one of the major employers in agribusiness sector. Joshua Kagoro, UBC News, in Noya District.
23 minutes after 8 in the studios of UBC TV. We'll now take a short break and return with much more.
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165*77# or use the Momo app to register.
The Electricity Disputes Tribunal is a specialized quasi-judicial body established under Section 93 of the Electricity Act to handle all civil cause disputes relating, but not limited to, regulatory disputes, billing and licensing, tariffs, power generation, transmission and distribution issues, compensation resulting from activities in the electricity sector including civil wrongs and breaches of statutory and contractual duties and consumer-related complaints. The Electricity Disputes Tribunal is a special court and the first instance court that deals with electricity matters in the country. For more information, please contact the Electricity Disputes Tribunal at Amber House, Kampala Road, opposite Post Office, or call us on 041 232987.
That's right. The Voice is coming to a city near you. From the 21st of October to the 20th of November, you get a chance to showcase your talent. Prepare a 1-minute MP4 video of yourself singing and upload it to thevoice.africa to register. Make sure you have a valid Airtel number, and if you're shortlisted, you will be contacted to come in for the live auditions.
Well, don't just stand there, let's go!
Music your passion, Africa your stage. The Voice Africa, connected by Airtel.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold on much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollies.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165*77# or use the Momo app to register.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us. On sign language, it is Mugalu Mohammed, and I am Rukidi Kiijjanangoma. Moving on, Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tayebwa has called upon legislators to prioritize revision of policies and laws that support inclusion of people with disabilities. Tayebwa says the laws should not only have strategies of inclusion, but also define punishment for all those who are found to abuse rights of PWDs. He was represented by Chegigwa Woman Member of Parliament Flavia Ruabhoro.
We must ensure that we interrogate every space, every structure, every policy, every legislation to ensure inclusivity in terms of access and in terms of participation.
Segregation and negative attitudes coupled with hard access to social services like education, employment and transport are just a few of those so many challenges faced by people with disabilities. These accordingly make them feel disconnected from society, hence driving them to stigma.
Talking about education, about inclusive for a person with disability in the development angle, I was specifically talking about intentional.
Such challenges informed the decision for the formation of the National Union for People with Disabilities in 1987, with objectives of fostering inclusion of persons with disabilities.
We have done the advocacy, but there are things where I have not been able to succeed in our advocacy.
Persons with disabilities decry continuous segregation in all aspects of life.
Uganda is one of the best countries with the best laws. The biggest problem is about implementation. The laws we are talking about are not inseminated into the beneficiaries.
In commemoration of 35 years of existence, NUDIPO is moving towards drafting a communique of equality on the barriers and way forward to be presented to Parliament through the line ministries. They want this communique to be incorporated into the available laws to support inclusion and prohibition of discrimination of persons with disability. The Commissioner in charge of special needs at the Ministry of Education, Dr. Pamela Nizeimana, says government is ensuring that all persons with disabilities are enrolled into public institutions.
But Universal does not compel the parent to take
pupils or children to school. Ministry of Education just waits for those who will come to school and they teach them. But who cares about those who don't come?
We are able to have what we call refresher capacity building for teachers, where we train them on how to teach, how to support, and how to manage children with disabilities. And
Parliament is currently processing the Employment Amendment Bill 2022, to which persons with a disability have been invited to give their views. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiwa, has called for review of laws in support of PWDs, provision of free legal services, and updated information on PWDs. He was represented by Chegegwa, Woman Member of Parliament, Flavia Kabhoro.
Ministry of Internal Affairs, how are you able to protect people with disabilities whose numbers you don't know?
NODIPO was formed in 1987 to advocate for rights of people with disabilities. Susan Naung and Andrew Sebira reporting for EBC TV.
Now, Ministry of Education and Sports officials have been sensitized on a better learning program that's aimed at helping children in need of psychosocial support. Christian DeLuca, a capacity building advisor of Better Learning Program, said the program will also provide teachers with a simple psychosocial support framework and a recovery box that can be used on a daily basis to promote children's recovery.
Any component of referrals, should we assume that if a learner goes through all these things?
The COVID-19 period caused a lot of trauma, notably to school-going children and parents following a change of program in the education system. This led to the need for psychosocial support to the affected pupils, which has not been considered in the education system.
The program supports children who are experiencing a level of stress due to traumatic events or to toxic stress generated by adversities in life. And it's a program that supports them in reflecting about these events, and it gives these events the possibility to be taken out.
To address this challenge, Ministry of Education officials are being sensitized on incorporation of Better Learning Program to improve children's well-being. The Norwegian Refugee Council, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Sports, has come out to support and sensitize children that have and are passing into trauma.
Teach them some techniques to relax through breathing exercises and also mindfulness. And we have found out that the program also during COVID was very functional to improve emotional well-being and concentration in classroom, but also in reducing nightmares for children who are actually experiencing the symptoms of extreme distress. There are children who are experiencing up to 4 nights with nightmares.
The Better Learning Program is aimed to improve learning conditions for children and adolescents exposed to war and conflict. Sarah Ayesiga, the Assistant Commissioner, Inclusive and Non-Formal Education in the Ministry of Education and Sports, asserts that there is a lot of stress and suffering, hence the need for Better Learning Program initiative.
We are receiving children who have a lot of trauma, who have a lot of challenges, ranging from poverty to higher levels of wars coming to destabilize, and you find that a child comes, is not eaten, a child comes, has gone through that traumatic experience of seeing a mother, of seeing a sibling being killed, seeing a sibling dying. It's happening. They come. The professionals or the teams that they find at school sometimes are not the ones who are actually the ones who have the best skills of managing a child who has gone through trauma.
Robert Anyar, an education specialist from the Norwegian Refugee Council, says children are impacted with many issues that need urgent attention.
We know that children are impacted by very, very many issues, psychosocial support issues. We have stressors that children go through. We have children abuses. There are many problems children go through in their daily lives. So this program is basically to help children come out of this.
The Norwegian Refugee Council has helped traumatized children and parents that were affected by the Lord's Resistance Army (LRA) insurgency in northern Uganda, led by Joseph Kony. They are now back to sensate the country about the program, beginning with the refugee hosting districts and communities. Zahara Abigaba, Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
The Uganda Episcopal Conference has made a number of recommendations to the Education Policy Review Commission toward the development of a new macro policy framework for the education and sports sector in Uganda. Among them is addressing critical issues pertaining to funding, quality of research and teacher training. We have more in this story.
The state addressed this revolution and come to a common point that the dignity of a Ugandan is addressed.
The education sector has experienced a rapid pace and scope of reforms over the past decades, having both positive and negative impacts. The communication to review the education policy in Uganda, Monday, interfaced with the Uganda Episcopal Conference.
Should the church role should play in its management and also financing, because our education was largely financed by wherever the resources came from through the church. What do you think should be the role of the church for us to consider and recommend to government?
The Uganda Episcopal Conference made a number of recommendations to the Commission towards the development of a new micro-policy framework for the sector. Among them is addressing critical issues pertaining to funding, quality of research and teacher training, among others.
Consequently, education in Uganda has experienced, like many other parts of the world, decline in quality of education, poor academic performance, high teacher-student ratio, secularization, contradicting our motto, for God and my country.
Saying that government should regulate tuition, limiting the minimum and maximum for all universities, and also regulate charges on private students in universities. We are also proposing that government should increase funding for students' loan scheme and create a better recovery system to enable our universities to be at par in terms of facilitations with our neighboring countries.
They recommend that government training of teachers for all levels of education be provided, since it's at the center of provision of quality education in the country.
School practice exercise in public and private universities be financed and conducted for extended period of time in order to ensure more practice, and also to ensure that those who are coming out of those universities have the required skills to pass on to the learners, as opposed to the current status where those under government sponsorships are the ones who are supported, and yet the others also are being prepared for service in this country.
The Commission is to conduct its work and file a report which will form the basis for formulation of a new government white paper on education. Jane Nguramchisha, reporting for UBC.
Let's go to Hoima district now, where over 100 drivers from Bunyoro sub-region and Hoima Kampala Drivers Association, led by the Chief Whip of Resident District Commissioners, Bunyoro Region, Amlan Tumsime, have endorsed President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to run unchallenged as NRM candidate in 2026. They moved from Hoima City and gathered at the home of the State Minister for Works and Transport, Fred Byamukama, in Chikwaya village, where they made the endorsement. Take a watch.
Hoima Kampala Taxi Drivers Association for coming out very willingly and gladly to endorse our beloved President General Museveni as the presidential candidate for 2026-2031. This love can't be taken for granted. You know, the President has worked on most of these roads. When you look at the petition the drivers have written, we are particularly singling out the beautiful roads we have in Bunyoro, where they transact their business, they have been able to make money, they have been able to develop their families, they have been able to develop their associations, all because of the able leadership of the President.
For the years Mzee had stayed in government, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, he has done well. Some of them have been able to buy taxis to educate their children out of the money of taxis because of the good leadership of NRM and under the visionary leader Yoweri Kaguta Museveni whom we have. So through their RDC, Amlan, our good RDC in Bunyoro, you have seen they have endorsed Mzee Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as a solo candidate come 2026 and 2031. And I appreciate that. I will take the message to the President that the Bunyoro are saying you made for them some good road.
Now to matters pertaining to eradicating HIV/AIDS. Uganda's campaign to eradicate HIV/AIDS by 2030 seems to be yielding fruits as the number of people contracting the virus has drastically dropped compared to early 90s. Now this was revealed by Uganda AIDS Commission at the flagging off of assorted food items to people living with HIV in Karamoja region. The function was held at the National Forum for People Living with HIV/AIDS Network in Uganda offices in Mengo. The donation was made by UN AIDS in partnership with the Embassy of Ireland in Uganda.
The government of Uganda, together with the non-governmental and civil society organizations and some individuals, started the food distribution campaigns in support of people in Karamoja region after hunger and famine hit the 9 districts of Karamoja. However, due to the geographical setup of the region and its size, not everyone received the food package, prompting National Forum for People Living with HIV/AIDS Nafofanu to solicit for funds to address food insecurity among people living with HIV/AIDS in Karamoja sub-region.
We got support from UNAIDS and the Embassy of Ireland to reach the most vulnerable people living with HIV in Karamoja. The support from UNAIDS is a one-off, 65 million, but reaching 450 people with sugar, beans, maize, flour, rice and salt. Then from the Embassy of Ireland, we received 200,000 euros, which is around 735 million. It's the biggest challenge because without food, swallowing medication becomes a problem.
It's for this reason that UN AIDS and the Embassy of Ireland joined the cause, running to the aid of the Karimajong.
We must always remember that the focus remains on keeping people living with HIV alive and living healthy lives. UNAIDS will support this project with 79,200,000 Uganda shillings for the moment. But we promise to keep looking for more money and come in to support Napofanu again. Like drought in Karamoja region, the social support safety nets for people living with HIV always need to be strengthened.
The fight against global hunger and undernutrition is a key component of Ireland's foreign policy and our international aid programme. We know that hunger can trap people in poverty, where they do not have enough energy to be healthy or to work.
The coordinator, private sector and civil society at Uganda AIDS Commission, Hope Murungi, says the statistics of HIV/AIDS infections have dropped, using Uganda's campaign in ending HIV/AIDS by 2030.
Targets that we have for 2030, that every person, 95% of the people that go for testing should know their status. And 95 of those that have tested and they are found to be positive should enroll on treatment. In the 1990s, the HIV prevalence rate was at 18%. But with the efforts that have been going on with the different actors, with the different stakeholders, with the different supporting networks, we have been worked very hard, and right now HIV prevalence is at 5.5.
However, even with the donations, there is need for more long-lasting and sustainable initiatives for the Karimajongo to curb hunger and food scarcity. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC News.
That's right. The Voice is coming to a city near you. From the 21st of October to the 20th of November, you get a chance to showcase your talent. Prepare a 1-minute MP4 video of yourself singing and upload it to thevoice.africa to register. Make sure you have a valid Airtel number, and if you're shortlisted, you will be contacted to come in for the live auditions.
Well, don't just stand there, let's go!
Music your passion, Africa your stage. The Voice Africa, connected by Airtel.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Mbara and Jinja.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
Welcome back from that break, and now let's continue with business news. Investors at Namamve Industrial Park have been encouraged to follow demarcations allocated to them to ease physical development of road infrastructure. The Director General, Uganda Investment Authority, Robert Mukiza, echoed this during progress assessment of road construction works in the area. Mukiza was accompanied by the UK trade envoy to Uganda, Lord Dola Popat, who expressed optimism in progress so far made in Uganda's quest for industrialization. Henry Okrut reports.
In the next 2 years, road infrastructure at Namamve Industrial Park will not be the same. The ongoing road works display a ray of hope for both intending and already established investors. It is a design and build project standing at 90% design and 30% of physical construction.
There have been a lot of third-party interferences. This is a brownfield for starting. A brownfield means you operate at the same time when the different industries are also operating.
This is the project whose funders from the United Kingdom embarked on inspecting on Monday morning. The UK envoy for trade, Lord Dola Popat, was taken around, led by engineers from Lagan Dot. Popat was both hopeful and impressed.
And we hope we can start more in the next 6-8 months. It's up to Uganda Investment Authority, who has taken the lead role in driving this industrialization of Uganda forward.
His vision is to see a Uganda fully industrialized with well-developed infrastructure.
We want to see more industrial parks being built by UK company. UK Lagan is a very reputable company in association with Ugandan government and of course with UK Export Government Finance as well to help to build these parks.
This, however, will not be a walk in the park. Going by the experience so far at Namamve Industrial Park, tendencies of some investors erecting buildings in road reserves have delayed road construction works.
Most of these roads are new roads. We have to construct them and then allow them to surcharge for a period of time. Then after that we can go into the physical works. Otherwise, if we do not do that, you risk seeing crackings on the surface. I think you've seen some of those in different regions, and we are not trying to allow that to happen.
Some investors had built into the road reserves, yes, into the drainage corridors, into the utility corridors. And what we are doing now is, as we open up new sites in the park, to support the contractor to have unfettered access to these areas. So we also call upon the investors who are here. You have a very clear demarcation deed plan. Don't build your wall into the road.
If all goes as planned, 43 kilometers of roads will be fully upgraded internally at Namamve Industrial Park. Henry Okrut, UBC.
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165*77# or use the Momo app to register.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold out much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And do you have everything you need to believe?
Let's have a look now at the latest in sport. Now, the curtains have fallen on the 2022 St. Mary's College Kisubi SMAC League. The final day at Legends Rugby Club in Kampala wasn't only impressive in the action, but also the aftermath with musical performances that lit up the night. John Bansentamo reports.
The 2022 Guinness-sponsored St. Mary's College Kisubi SMAC League has climaxed with action at Legends Rugby Club Lugogo.
I'm quite happy that the brand has been part of this league. You know, the league has continued to grow and has become even more than just football. It's now a social event. A lot of people come through on Sundays with their friends to enjoy, so we are glad to be part of that. As Guinness, we are fans of football. We love football, we promote football. But as well, the fact that football, the social element about football, because it's about people coming together and enjoying the sport, we are glad to be part of it. So, a great finale. It has been quite competitive. Congratulations to the winning team, well deserved. Continue to shine bright.
This SMAC League has been a contest between 20 teams drawn from particular years of study at one of Uganda's most prestigious institutions. Going into the final day, competition for the top spot was between Zulus, which is the class of 2009, and Block Owners, which draws its name from the year 2002. The Zulus were atop the standings with 40 points, while Block Owners sat second on 39. The Zulus outclassed Outcasts 5-2 on the final day to win the league by 1 point over Block Owners that also beat Devils 2-1.
First of all, it's hard to be champion of the SMARC League, so it is exciting, it is thrilling, it is hard work, yeah, but also we deserve to be here, yeah.
Yeah, as Team Zulus, this is really a very big achievement, especially for our sponsors. We've had so many people believe in us and they have supported us through this journey. Really, there's nothing better we could have given them apart from this trophy. It shows that, yeah, where resources are and hard work, really, nothing more that would give apart from this win.
There were awards for Best Female Fan Olivia Narole, Best Adult Fan Dr. Albert Richard Otete, Best Online Fan Justin Niwamanya, Coach of the Season Moses Kwagala, Top Scorer Michael Kitaka, and Most Valuable Player Stephen Dungu. The aftermath of the league was spiced by performances from Kenneth Mugabi and Azawi that left revelers yearning for more.
That sports story has finally brought us to the end of this first edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. On sign language, it has been Mogalu Mohammed and I am Rukidi Kiijjanangoma. Do remember that our second and final bulletin of News Tonight comes your way at 10 p.m. But for now, I'll leave you with Daphne Kabasita and Samba with weather forecast for tomorrow, who should be coming on shortly. But as for me, I'll catch you later on at 10.
It's a pleasure.